Hi, Zay fam. Welcome back to the Zaya Show. Today, I am here with the iconic mother, Chaselyn Wade Vance, darling. Okay, this is an iconic mother that you probably heard or seen for the last few seasons of the Zaya Show. And every time she comes on, it's just a vibe and it's just amazing. And I figure going into season 8 and coming back, this is one person that I love to just talk to and interview, but really feels like a girl talk conversation. So she is here now. If you're watching, we are wearing very iconic outfits, I would like to say. So if you're watching it, go onto the YouTube channel. And if you're not watching it, maybe you should watch it. But how you feeling, Chaselyn?
I am so good, and I'm so happy to talk to you again. Like you said, it's just like it's like best friends that don't get to talk for a while, and then you see each other. It's amazing.
Exactly. So I know it's been a while. I know I had some things that happened over in great ways. But how you been? I know there's been a lot of things, especially with your acting career and just like everything within film that's been producing recently, correct?
Yeah, it's been something I'm so proud of that I've been working on for the last year and a half or so. And it's finally out there for the public to see, and I'm super excited, and I feel kind of vulnerable, and I feel proud, and I feel all those things that come to us as artists when we release something, or that we've taken on so much and you love so much of the project, so yeah, it's what I wanted, what I needed, and hopefully people will enjoy it for sure.
I'm sure they will enjoy it, just like all the other things that you created, Icon. Okay, so I got a little confession, and I feel like you're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know." So actually, I was terrified of horror films. I know when you last came on for season 5, when we were going
Yes.
to talk about the horror film, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so scared to watch it alone." So I have my friends join me to watch it. Like I was such a scary cat, but I conquered my fear of horror films. I love yours. Like it was just iconic. It was like scary, but it was like your humor and the cast humor was just like made
Oh,
me feel
thank
better.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But I went to my first haunted house recently and I
Okay.
survived and I just laughed throughout the whole thing.
I do this really weird screaming laugh. I tell people before we go in, I'm like, listen, before we go in, you're gonna hear me doing this weird noise. It just I'm okay. I'm okay.
Exactly. Because I thought I was gonna be the scary cat, so I didn't want like in the group of friends. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be in front. We had a guy that was like 6'6", like he's gonna be in front, he's gonna protect us. But we made some friends, like when you wait in line and all
Yeah.
that, because it's so long. Long story short, I see a girl. She is freaking out on the floor of the haunted house. And I was just like, and the first thing that came to mind, I said, bitch, come on. And I
Nuh-uh.
just picked her up and we
Did she
was
just lay down? She was done? She
like,
was just done? She
I
just
said,
lay
bitch, come
down.
on. And we made a friendship, and it's so funny. But I just figured I was like, I have to tell Chaselyn this because it was character development
Oh my
at its
gosh.
finest. Because now I go to now I love haunted houses, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to go
They're so
again.
much fun, but I learned
They're
you
so much
don't
fun.
wear cute clothes.
Exactly. No, I did
And you
not wear
don't
cute
wear
clothes.
open toe
Oh
shoes.
no, tennis shoes, darling.
And get ready for your hair to be wet. I was
Exactly.
livid when my hair got wet.
Girl, I was sweating. Okay, I had to carry
Oh
her,
yeah, it's hot
and she
too.
was not no skinny mini, honey. Like I
Yeah,
had to
no.
do some.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm glad. Welcome
Yes,
to the dark side.
yes. I'm surprised I didn't come on the darker side, like come to the darker side sooner, especially because I did theater. But the haunted house we went to was the scariest one in Louisiana, and I just did not
Okay.
feel scared. I did not feel scared. We went to Rise, and I literally did not feel scared.
Good.
I just laughed,
Good.
and
That
I was
means you're
like,
a
"It's a show."
strong bitch.
Right, I'm a strong bitch. My mom was like, "Oh my gosh, son, you need to tell me something." I was like, "No, I love it. I love it. I want to go again." But they have a Christmas version, and I'm gonna let you know
Oh,
how
see,
that
I've
goes.
never done one of those. That would be fun.
I'm gonna see if they're gonna make Santa like
Christmas is a horror
evil.
film already.
Exactly, exactly. And speaking of Halloween, I know Halloween just recently passed, and I know you are booked and busy during our Halloween circuit, darling, because
Ugh.
you're that bitch.
It was
So
a lot this year. It was a
What?
lot. I
Yeah.
started at 12 and finished at 9:45, 10 o'clock.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But I'm sure it was fun though.
I love it. Every year, it's my favorite day of the year to do makeup. I just love it. It's
I
so
do.
creative. It's so fun, and each person is different. And
Yeah.
I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Now, see me this year. I was actually the one that was on my couch, because me and my friends were like, "Oh my gosh, we should go to this Halloween party." But you know, like we all working out, and
Right.
when I tell you, I hit the couch after a long day of work, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get into this outfit," because I was going to do Glenn. So I was going to do like a male version of Glenda, except I was going to do
Okay.
like a whole pink ensemble and everything,
Okay.
and be like the
Okay.
prince. Okay. However, I fell asleep. And my friend fell asleep. And I'm gonna just wear that outfit to the Wicked when I go see Wicked in
Yeah,
November.
just do that. Just
So
do that.
that's
Just do
why
that.
I feel good about it.
You know,
But look at
I celebrated on Halloween. My husband and I always have like a Halloween date, and we may spend
ooh.
hours getting ready, but we're only out for like 2 hours. We're
So
back home.
what's your favorite Halloween costume that you and your husband did?
Oh, last year. I really loved ours last year. We were both Day of the Dead, and I did him with like the hat and the like flowers, and we were matchy poo. That one, and one year we did Handmaid's Tale.
Mm.
And I wore the blue, like the corporal's or like the general's wife or whatever. I wore
Yeah,
like the blue with the my hair pulled back in a bun and like little
period.
flats, and then he wore like a black suit and his hair slicked back, and yeah,
Period. I love that. I
that
just
was
love how
cute. That was cute for us.
Halloween was a good moment, and I know. Well, I'm more of a Christmas lover. Like this shirt screams Christmas vibes to me, and I've been wearing it ever since. But the holidays overall just very extravagant, very iconic. Now, what's very iconic as well is that this year, like we have obviously the election happening, but obviously what I tell people is protect your heart, and I'm telling people now, like obviously we probably would have heard the results. Still relax your heart, watch a good movie, watch a good TV show. So, what is one TV show or film that you've been binge watching recently?
Oh, recently
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching the Lyle and the brothers, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story.
Is it
I
on
was
Netflix?
Yeah, I think so. It was. I tried not to watch it forever and ever and ever, and I was like, no, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it. And then I was
Oh.
bored one night, and then I got stuck on it. I'm like, okay, this is pretty good.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I have certain TV shows I really, really. There's this one that it's going to be on like season 3 coming up real soon, and it's an
Mhm.
Apple television series. You know, you have to do that, and
Right.
it's called um oh, anyways, Foundation.
Oh, Foundation on
It's called
Netflix?
Yes. No,
Okay.
no, on Apple.
No,
It's
on
called
Apple.
Foundation.
Apple.
Yes.
See,
Look it
girl,
up.
all
It's a sci-fi
okay.
fantasy. Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Because honestly, with all these streaming platforms, I'm trying to keep up, and it's like, which one is which,
I
y'all?
am very technologically ill prepared. Okay, so
Okay.
I get stuck in one like channel. I'm like, that's it. I'm not gonna look for other stuff. I don't know.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So I know that you have a project coming out at the end of the year, and I'm
Yes.
so excited to learn more details. So can you share with us some
I
details about the
100% can.
upcoming?
Yes, it's
Yay!
actually it's out right now.
Oh, mic drop.
Yep.
Mic drop.
We are going to be having episode 4 this coming
Okay.
Tuesday, and it is called Transfolk.
Okay. Mhm.
TransFolk. Transfolk.
And it's also in the link down below wherever you're listening to this podcast or watching it. I'm definitely gonna get the link from you and all that. So
Hmm.
that way it's already. So just go into the
Yeah.
link and bio after you listen to this episode, y'all.
Yes. And so, it's something I've worked on for the last year and a half. And I came on
Mhm.
as just an actress. I told my husband, I was like, I really, 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 really want a good, juicy role, something that's different than what I'm used to. And I just want to act. I don't want to produce or direct or anything like
Right.
that. And this project came around to me, and the lady that wrote it, come to find out, she was like, well, actually, when I wrote this, I kind of had you in mind for a lot of the scenes when I was writing it. And I was like, no way. And she's like, no, I'm serious. And she showed notes and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay.
So it's like the universe like literally gave me what I was asking for. And
Right.
then I fell in love with it. She let me read the script, and I couldn't stop. And I just fell in love with the character. I fell in love with what she was trying to say with the show, and it's just amazing. There's going to be 7 episodes in
Okay.
season 1. We're on episode 3 right now. As we speak, I think the first episode has over 25,000 views, and then the third episode, it's been out since Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, series. So in 5 days, I think it's got like another
Wow.
5,000 views. So episode 2, for some reason, she's lagging, girl. I don't know why.
Do okay, I feel like people are you okay, because I feel
It's
like it's
weird.
so weird because I'm figuring out this problem too with the podcast. It's like I'll drop the first one and it's like great, and then the second one is like the blues, and I'm like, you
Yeah,
gotta watch the second one
yeah. So,
to
so
get
if
it.
the thing is, we're going to be releasing them every Tuesday up until December,
Yes.
and I think we're going to end up having a big party. So I don't know. I would love for you to be in town for that. I think it's
Yeah.
December. I'll give you details. First week of
Okay, perfect.
December.
Yes, because
Um,
this episode's gonna be out like in mid of November. So you probably had like episode 5, 6, y'all. So
yeah,
it's
we'll be
perfect.
done. We're going to wait till 1 week after episode 7. The
Sweet.
last
Yes.
episode. And then that night we're gonna play all 7 episodes at the
Wow.
event. And yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. So
Kind
I
of like a
know this
rap party instead of you know,
like the celebration
premiere.
almost. Yes. More like
Yeah.
a rap party. I like those more. With the show being what's the title again? Transphobia?
Transfolk. It's
Transfolk.
directed,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Transfolk. Yeah.
directed, produced, starring, acted by
Period.
Transfolk.
So Transfolk. So I know you were just the actress, darling.
Yes.
But what was the first initial thoughts when you just heard that title, Transfold?
Confronting,
Mm-hmm.
obvious,
Mm-hmm.
and welcoming.
That's great. Now, going through this show where obviously there's going to be topics on sexuality, as I
A
highly
lot.
assume, and I'm definitely watching it probably as of right now. As
Yes.
of right now, and I'm definitely going to be texting you like, "Girl, what's going on?"
Yes. Do.
So,
Do.
were there some scenes that just like trigger like just the inner child, just like, oh, this is something that I
Yes.
can relate to on a deeper,
Yes.
deeper level. And like
Yes.
as an actor coming from an actor, it's like certain scenes I'm like, bitch, that one got me in my spirit.
Yeah, there was, my character plays a recovering drug addict and alcoholic.
Mhm.
And she owns a gay bar now. Her husband has passed away, and this is kind of picking up with her a year after he's passed away. And how she's trying to hold her sobriety together, um, working at a bar, and all those pressures that she's going through and stress. And
Right,
there were parts of it that were, I had to take myself to places that I, I couldn't stop crying because I felt so bad. Like, it's weird. Me as an actress, like, if I start crying for a character, like, I can't just turn it off sometimes.
right,
And I just have to tell people, like, look, I've got probably 3 good takes, but
yeah,
I may not stop after the third take. I may take like a few minutes to stop. I can't
yeah.
turn the faucet off. You know what I mean? And there were a couple times that I wanted to do so good for this role that I experienced that, and I knew then that I was at least trying my best to tell the story that she wanted to tell.
Right. I get it, and I'm sure you did a fantastic job.
It's
Fantastic job,
very vulnerable though,
and
because
it's very
I'm
vulnerable.
you
And
know,
I
like
really,
people will be like, "Oh, she got an ugly cry." And they're gonna read and be like, "Girl."
girl, if they worry about that, then they need to go to counseling, baby. Because why
But
you
there's so many good stories in this entire
right,
thing, and there's so many characters. We have some amazing guest characters, guest actors. It tells stories of people that are just starting to transition,
right,
people that have transitioned for a long time,
hmm
the relationships between trans people in the trans community, in the
hmm
bar community.
right,
Um, in the so many different aspects of how
right,
when you're working at a bar, all these different people from all these walks of lives come into your life for different
right.
reasons, you know, and all the things that she struggles with to maintain her sobriety from
Right.
that, you
And
know.
I understand. And I could honestly just imagine just like running a bar. It's just
Yeah,
like running a bar, it's just like anything that's really like a community space. When you think about like
yeah,
bars are community space. So
yes,
it's like you're having, and I'm really interested and intrigued, and I'm definitely going to keep this on
yeah,
my radar, and I'm probably going to be telling people about it throughout all the episodes throughout.
you know,
But it
and
sounds interesting already, and it's very intriguing because I could see where the challenge of sobriety would come into play with it,
yeah,
not just from the alcohol visualization,
yeah,
but also just things that she might see throughout the bar
right,
that might happen because
right,
you can't
right,
control
right.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I myself, I've been sober for like 20 years. I
Yeah.
mean, now when I say sober, that I mean I don't dibble dabble a little something
Okay,
or
well, we have to dibble dabble in
you
something,
know a
but
little dibble
let me
dabble,
know.
and of course I'll have a drink every now and then.
Hey, you have every
But
right
as
to.
far as the other drugs that Cheyenne was on now,
Right.
yeah, it's been 20
And we are
years for
so
me.
proud
So
of you, darling.
yeah,
We
yeah,
are
yeah.
so proud of you.
Yeah, she's a interesting character, Miss Cheyenne is, and there's so many good characters that have come from the mind of Carly
Mhm.
that it's amazing. She's been writing this and working on this project for I think 10 years, and it's finally out there, and it's just
That's beautiful.
we're all so proud of it, and it tells so many different stories, and they're authentic stories that every trans
Mhm.
girl can at least recognize or feel a part of or know a similar feeling from at least
Right.
one of the stories. And
Right.
it's so important for us to tell, you know, there are so few trans people in the world
Mhm.
that you may or may never meet one, depending on
Right.
where you live and your environment. And so
Right.
when you're told something about somebody and you never have met one, and they're not just doing drag or the stereotypes, right? When they're showing their
Mhm.
real lives, what they
For sure.
really go through in a truthful,
Right.
raw fashion, it, yeah, it's
It,
a lot. It's a lot. It's a
it's a
lot.
lot, but I'm glad that the representation is there. Number one, first off,
Yes.
because I've been saying this to the I'm blue in the face, and I've been saying this, and me and my
Yeah.
friends, we all have discussions about this where we talk
Mhm.
about like different communities within LGBTQ space, and I'm like,
Yeah.
transgender community always get the short end of the stick
Yeah,
all the
it's just
time,
because there's
all
so
the
few
time.
of us, and then there's so
Right,
few of those people that are going to be interested in putting their lives out there, and then there's so few of them that's going to be wanting to
right,
put their lives on screen, and then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
exactly,
Um, but that's why this is so important because it's
Mhm.
telling a scripted true story,
Exactly, and I'm
and it's
sure
telling
that.
five of them.
Exactly. And I'm sure the director and the cast and the crew really made a safe space for
Oh
everybody to feel
yes,
space to just like go there, especially when you try different tactics and different scenes. But to lighten up the mood a little, what was one blooper that you were just like, I can't get this word right, or I can't
yes,
do this for the life
yes.
of me? Like laughing
There was
down.
Yes, there was a particular scene where I'm having a talk with my therapist,
Mhm.
and I can't tell you details, but I'm having a talk with my therapist, and I just kept messing the line up. Uh, uh, it was a long. like, a full page type
Like a
thing. So
monologue.
it was a monologue, a slightly bit. I mean, there were
Yeah.
responses, but the responses were very long.
Yeah.
And I just kept messing it up and messing it up and messing it up. And I bet we did like 30 takes.
Wow.
It took 3 hours to do this 10-minute scene. I was this was like my first day on set filming. I was like
Yeah.
I'm like, I swear I'm not this bad all the time. It was rough. It was rough. You
I
know.
definitely can relate to that because I actually did an audition recently because I've been getting back into theater since
Yeah.
graduation. And I thought it would be a good idea to audition for a Shakespeare show. And now, just like, I never did Shakespeare before, darling. And I literally have recordings of it. I didn't get a callback or anything. And I was like, maybe it's for the best because when I tell you memorization for Shakespeare,
Oh,
I could not. I literally kept fucking up. I had like
yeah.
20 takes on my
Yeah.
phone. I was just like, because I think that was around the same time when I was making season 8 for the Zaya show. I'm like, I need
Yeah.
to lock in for this audition because it was for Midnight Summer Dream, and I really wanted to be Puck.
Um.
I wanted to be Puck so bad, but when I tell you, girl, it wasn't a one because I did the one. It was about the fish. Is it a man or a fish?
Oh.
Something or something. I already forgot it, girl.
Look, she's like, why didn't you get it,
Girl, it's
bitch?
a man or a fish. Which one? Just in a Shakespearean way.
You know,
And I
I will
gotta
say this one thing about Carly, she was really good at. I said, now listen, you have written these things down, and sometimes it's not gonna come out of me right.
right.
It's glad I want to say it the way I wanted to say it to get the vibe. And
Exactly.
she was like 100%. Do whatever you got to do. Just make it hit what you need to hit. But
Hmm.
there were certain lines. She's like, no, it has to be said like this because this is the
Yeah.
intent of that.
I love
And
that
so
actress like
she was great to work with like that. She was just very open creatively,
that. Hmm.
and
I
I
love
loved
directors
that
like that.
because coming from a director, a producer, uh, actress, the person who did the auditions, that brought the food in for the day, that all of that,
Right.
um, all of that, I- you know, I didn't want to do all that again. I just wanted a cool act, like something really neat and fun, and I ended up
Hmm.
getting something really amazing, and it's challenged me, and it's made me so proud to be a part of this, and it's all because of Carly's brain that just would not stop for 10 years to
Wow.
make it happen. So now that it is happening for her,
Right.
it's happening for everybody that's been involved. It's
That's
because
really good.
it's been a production of love.
Hmm.
Not a lot of people got paid for nothing,
Right.
and she's done almost everything herself.
Hmm.
So she knows the story in and out. She knows her locations in and out. She knows her shots in
That's
and out.
good.
It's amazing,
That's
what
amazing.
she's put into this. I
Amazing.
I did come on later on a couple of times. I went down there because I had to keep going back down to visit. I said,
Yeah.
I think we should partner together, and let me come on as a producer of this. So she's like, please. And I was like, okay, let me come on as producer. And so we partnered up with that, and
Really?
using connections that I have, and then using her know-how and her connections, and
Right.
yeah, yeah, super proud of her. Super proud of her.
So shout out to Carly. Shout out to Carly.
I'm
Woo!
telling you.
Now I know because I'm more of the theatrical person, but I actually made a few friends that are more in the short film area.
Mhm, mhm.
They are kind of just starting out, which I'm very excited for. They wanted me to come on as an actor, and I was like, maybe I'll dabble in it. I'll go see how it is. But what's one advice that you would give for honestly like people that are starting out in more of an indie focus of short films or web series? Because you had experiences from across the board, darling,
Yeah,
for different roles. So what
yeah.
would you give advice from not only for the director, but for the producer and even for the
Mhm.
actors?
Huh. Well, number one thing is do the smell test.
The smell
This is
test?
not going to be the answer you're going to think I was going to give. Do the smell test. If it smells fishy, it's probably fishy. Don't do it.
Okay.
If the situation and it's like we're gonna fly you out, and we're gonna give you this, and we're gonna give you that, and you're gonna make X amount of money, and you're gonna work with this. Okay, give me a contract. That's the number one advice I would tell anybody. Contract.
Ew.
Contracts. The first time I ever had one, it was a guy. His name was Tony Miller, and I was doing one of my very first film productions with him years and years and
Yeah.
years ago, early 2000s, and he said, well, here's a contract. I said, oh, I was like, oh, I don't really like signing contracts. I don't, I don't,
It's
I'm
like I
weird
don't know.
about
I'm
that.
signing
He said,
away.
he said, listen, let me tell you something. And I've stuck with this ever since. He said, let me tell you something. Contracts are great because they cover your ass and they cover mine. They put it on paper exactly what is expected from each party, so there's no misunderstanding. Anybody who does not want to give you a contract, run the other way because they're trying to do something that they don't want to be contractually connected to.
Mm, gotcha.
So contract is number one. Actress, producer, direct, whatever. That's my number one advice. That
If you smell it, run.
if you smell it, run because it ain't
Listen,
it
I
ain't
feel like
right, honey. It ain't right.
be-
That
yeah.
and maintain professional on set because a
Mm,
lot of times we in the independent industry work in small groups, and
yeah.
if you misbehave or you show up late or you're a just total bitch to work with
Oh yeah.
or you're sexually harassing people or
Mm,
you're
just being plain rude.
insensitive jokes, you're not going to get hired again. You might, but it won't last long because then you
Exactly.
won't get hired after that one.
You gonna be blacklisted, boo.
Yeah, yeah. So you know we're on set a lot of times with each other for long periods of time, sometimes days or weeks at a time on remote locations.
Right.
But you have to remember you are there to do a job
Mm,
and you are there to give your best performance, and that does not mean going out the night before partying and coming in late on set with a hangover. You have if you want to
that's
be professional, then let's be professional.
exactly. And I feel like honestly, and I really love working on because honestly, when I did the theater show during the summer, that's all I focused on. I just focused on the
Yeah,
musical numbers. I focused on my scenes. I just like the rehearsal process and of anything. And I was talking to my friends that doing short films that I'm just like, are y'all like because they're trying to find their locations and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
right.
well, you have to do more than just one take. And they're like, girl, we got it in the first take. I'm like, there's no such thing as just first take and call it a day.
No.
I'm one of those people. I'm like, I would stay here till it's done right. Didn't Beyonce said that in one of her behind the scenes? I'm one of those. If you want me, like, let's just say you're my director and you're like, Zaya, like, you need to give it to me again
Mhm.
and again and again. I will be up there all to midnight, baby, doing that one scene if that means it's going to look right because
Right.
I feel like acting, film, theater, it's another form of art and another way of conveying messages. So if you just kind of throw it away, you're kind of just wasting space
Yeah.
within.
The big difference there though is that like for theater you have rehearsals and then you have a confined set of movements and actions and it's prepared and it's easily
Right.
copied the next day.
Exactly.
In independent projects, you may only have an hour at that location. That means you gotta
You gotta be on it.
get it, get it. I always do three and then be like, now, if you want to have fun, I think we got what we needed. We can have some fun, do some different shit until we run out of time. But
Right.
sometimes you gotta shoot and run.
That's real. Now, what is the craziest place that you ever shot a short film as an actor or like a producer or a director before? Because I know you got some funny stories.
I've shot in several strip clubs before that was turned to be a gay club, which was kind of interesting, weird. That was interesting. Bathrooms, like public restrooms, like filming in a
Oh,
public restroom, and somebody have to
oh.
like production crews in there, and it's like in a park, and somebody walks in, and there's like
Yeah.
this zombie little girl in there, and then they're like, "Oh, excuse us," and the whole crew has to leave, and the person has to go use the bathroom, and then they're like, "Pause." Then the lady leaves, and then we go back into the bathroom, and they're like, "Oh
I
my
can
god!"
only
And then of course, you know, a lot of the crew is guys, and like, "I don't want to go to the girls' bathroom," and you're like,
yeah.
"Shh." We
Just
had to
shut
leave
up.
someone outside the door, you know, holding it for
Yeah.
us. And that was like that's like guerrilla film work, you know what I mean?
I mean, my thing is this. I could just imagine, and I think I'll be so upset if, let's just say, like, you're in the public bathroom and you're in the stall and they're trying to get the shot and you just got the lines down and you got the emotions and you feeling it, and then all of a sudden you just heard someone else just walked in like a drunk
Yeah.
girl and you're like,
You
you
know,
got to
because
do
it's
it
a
again.
big metal door, you know. Yeah.
And then you're like, shit, I got to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably those are two that stick out in my head a lot. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Now, what's sticking in my head. Oh, I love you, sister. I love you, bestie. So what's sticking in my head is obviously 2025 is about to be here, and it's a whole new year. And like I feel like this last quarter of the year, everybody also didn't be like, "Ooh, I want to do this next year. I want to do this. I didn't like this year." So, what projects you have coming up in 2025? Because I know you're a busy woman. You're a busy queen. So I know you got
Right.
something.
You know, I don't really have any major projects coming up, to be honest. This right now, my whole focus is on this TV series. I know we're going to be filming.
Yes.
We want to do season two. We
Mhm.
don't have any release date on that yet. It's going to take
Right.
at least a year to film it and do all that kind of stuff. Um, you know, I always have projects coming up throughout the year. I still have a few shows that I do. You know, Alexander's, I do a show there, live music, live singing. You know, I'm always doing like private drag events. I'm
Yes.
doing private makeup. I'm still doing, you know, commissioned art pieces. And
Mhm.
so it's hard to say what's coming up next because there's always
Like
something.
something.
As far as entertainment wise, I still would love to make my next project. It's a love story, and I'll have it written and it's ready to go. I just I need the money and the time to do it,
Yes.
and so that might be a focus of mine is saving for that this year
Gotcha.
to finally make it happen. I
Right. And I feel
really
like
want it to happen. Yeah.
that's really good. I love a good love story. I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm just like I was
And
crying up.
this one is based a lot on my life, like my like aspects of it are very
Oh,
true to my experiences that I've had in my life with certain people, things that they say and
yeah.
behaviors and actions and yeah.
Oh. Do you have a title for it already? Or you're kind of
Yes. Yes, it's called Sweet Kentucky Tea.
oh, that's so cute. I love that because you're from Kentucky. Brr.
Yes. And then the let but it's just the letter T at the end. Sweet
Mm.
Kentucky Tea for trans.
Respect.
And
See,
it's the story of her going back home and yeah.
yeah, that's sweet. Now, see, my love story, I don't know what to call mine at this point. Switch them out.
Right.
I don't know. Switch them out. Story just keep
That's
going.
hilarious. That's hilarious. Sweet Kentucky tea. There's a it comes up because there's a scene and he's like, you want something else to drink? And she goes, nah, I think I'll stick with my sweet Kentucky tea. I like it. And then he goes, yeah, I like some sweet Kentucky tea too, and winks at her and walks away. Ah, yeah, it's juicy.
I love, oh my gosh, like those type of things. Ah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you so much for coming on, Chaselyn.
Thank
Like,
you.
it's always been a good time talking to you. And I'm so glad we kept in touch for all these years. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and we still haven't met.
And we still haven't met. But don't you worry, darling. Don't you worry. Because I'm like, what do I have now? I have an apartment. Update for you. I have an apartment. I got a big boy job. I'm about to graduate again in next December. Because I'm like, let's do a master's. And I'm
As one
single
does.
and living my best life. So my friends actually, and the funny part is, because my friends they like going to concerts in Texas, and they were like, "We should drive out," and I was like, "Oh, girl, listen, because I've been driving for work, and my driving has got immaculate. I could parallel park now.
Uh-oh.
I could parallel
Uh-oh.
park a van.
Uh-oh. Look out.
I could parallel park a van now. I am so." Girl, when I go into the French Quarter, I'm like, it's not even scary to me no
I
more.
love it. I
Obviously,
love
the
it.
violence is,
How
but
far?
I'm like,
What is it? Like a 4-hour drive?
it's like for us, it's like gonna be like a 6 hour, 7 hour,
Oh,
which
okay. Oh,
is not bad. It's not
yeah.
bad.
It's a day trip.
It's a decent one where it's like, okay, you could get out, you could look, but yeah, we gonna commence and we're gonna talk and all that good stuff. But
Yeah.
that's something that I've been looking forward to in 2025, just really exploring more. And I guess because of my mom also is more accepting of me,
Yeah.
she accepted me as a gay man after I graduated. I was like, I don't know
Yay!
what cast a
Oh,
spell.
2025. I'll tell you what's coming up. My husband and I are planning a trip to Japan for 13 days.
Japan.
Yeah. Yeah,
Japan.
Japan. Next October for my birthday and our anniversary. It'll be our 5-year anniversary. Yeah. Yeah,
I
girl.
love
That's gonna be
love.
planned all year. We're already starting to plan for this trip. It's
I
ridiculous.
love planning trips like that. The only thing about planning trips like that is just the budgeting because you're just like, I really want to
Well,
get these cute
people,
shoes.
yeah, people are like Japan. Why? I'm like, because it's the most exotic fucking place
Right.
I can think of that I want to
Why
go.
not? Because me and my
I've
family,
always
we
been
went to
fascinated with it, so.
exactly. Because me and my family, we went to Hawaii this summer,
Oh, see?
and it was just, like, girl, like uh, speechless,
Stunning.
literally
I love it.
speechless,
I love it.
speechless. I was like, maybe I could be a West Coast girly. Because I peeped the West Coast when I flew in. Cause we stopped at Washington. I'm like, I could be a West Coast girly. But Hawaii was so gorgeous. It lived up to everything I expected. But for my next year in 2025, I'm really just like getting out there, just like traveling more. So Texas is on my radar, of course, for real, because it's just I guess it just makes it easier because I
What
don't gotta tell
about the
anybody where I gotta go.
Mexico?
Exactly.
What
So,
about the Mexico? Oh my God.
ooh, Mexico. What? Where Mexico?
Puerto Vallarta.
Ooh,
It's
is
beautiful.
it? It's beautiful. Is it by the beach?
Oh, it's right on the beach. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. I'll send you the details, sis.
yes, yes. Because I'm
Amazing.
just like solo trips, friend trips, and yeah. Now the funny part is as well, and I know you're gonna love this story. So my auntie recently got married in October, and I drunk some liquor in front of my family for the first time. Obviously, didn't know my
Okay.
and I was turning up with my cousins and everybody. And they said, "Oh my gosh, Isaiah, like you're gonna get married next." And I said, because my how extended family they probably don't know. And so
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, well, I don't have a girlfriend." And they said, "Oh, and no." And I said, "Well, I don't have anybody." They said, "Oh, you can find a girlfriend." I said, "Oh, I don't swing like that."
You bring your girlfriend on set?
And they said, "Oh, that's okay. Well, you gotta find yourself a man then, and you got 5 years." I said, and then I said, "Well, shit, that kind of backfired." Because, well, I said, "Well, I'm still not getting married for a while, darling. I'm not
Look, no rush. I didn't get
no
married.
rush, but
Yeah.
thank you for accepting me."
Yes, no rush. Yes,
It's
that
no
is
rush.
nice. That is
It's
nice.
nice. So it's kind of like happily ever after almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Sometimes it takes time for people.
Mhm.
It just takes
Takes
time.
time. My mom gave me makeup advice. She said, what did she tell me? She said, you look a little red in the face. You're red skin, remember? So if you look flushed, you got to put a little more concealer. I'm like,
Okay, mom. Thank
I
you.
said, you know what? I'm not been complaining about it. I'm not going to complain because I've been waiting for these. I said, okay, mom, I'll go do my makeup. She's like,
Hey,
it looks
yeah,
good.
moms are the best. Moms are the
Moms are the
best.
best.
My mom. I could tell you so many stories about things. My mom made my first drag outfit for me when I was
Oh,
17 and took me to the bar. I won the pageant. I won the
oh.
pageant, and then they took my title away a month later because they found out I wasn't 21.
Was she like 20 though?
No, I was 17.
Oh, well, damn, bitch. There was no. Well, how they find out about your age? Like,
I had a fake ID, girl.
oh, bitch. I'm thinking like maybe you post something saying,
Girl,
uh,
this is in the 90s, bitch. What are you talking about? There is no posting. You
okay, in
forget
the
how
90s.
old I'm old, bitch.
Okay, I feel like I'm getting old because I can't even keep up with my sister, my youngest sister, Gen Alpha. I'm losing track already. Certain things that they're saying, I'm like, what are you saying, baby? What
Yeah,
is that?
I
I
don't
know a few
understand.
things, but it's like, why you say Ohio, Iowa? Like they make open, they say Ohio is just where it.
Yeah, I've heard this. I've heard this.
Why Ohio?
Yeah.
Used to be
See what happens when they
Idaho.
stop teaching cursive?
Oh, yeah, when they just type now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I used to learn how to do cursive. Or that one class, what else they taught us? They taught us, I'm trying to think of a class that's I think cursive is like the main thing that's been going.
Well,
But I
yeah, because if you can't read it or write it, then how can you read the Bill of Rights or the We the People? You
well,
know,
that's a whole nother conversation.
you know. Think about it.
Be like, if you can't read cursive, but trust me, my child gonna learn cursive. They might,
Right.
Daddy, my arm hurt. I don't care. That's too damn
Good.
bad. You keep writing.
It's hilarious.
I just feel like cursive is more cute. And also now that I'm an adult and they're like sign off for this, I'm like, here you go.
Ah, I love it. I love it. Your signature.
Yes. And I'm just practicing like my autograph, just like with the Z and the
Have you
H and the
have you
Y.
have you ever studied like how to write your signature? Like, oh, when I get famous, I'm gonna write it like this.
I'm like, which one? Do I end with the smiley face?
Okay, so
Because
listen, the first time I ever noticed anything like that, I just thought people signed shit, right? And then I saw Michael Jackson. It was a slow mo, and I saw Michael Jackson reach over his hand, like over his back. He was looking this way, and he was signing with his behind his back, and it was exactly the same as what he had just done in front of him. It was hilarious.
that's that. I want to be that. I mean, I'm iconic,
He
but
was he
that's
was like,
so
oh
cool. Just like, there you go.
yeah,
There you
next,
go. Leave me alone. Toodaloo.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's been amazing catching up with you. And this episode, I'm just so excited for everything season 8. And I just knew whenever I was making a list, and because I had people that was like, who are you gonna have on as a guest? I'm like, I know who. I know who.
Uh,
Chaselyn, no exceptions.
Oh,
Y'all
thank you.
come
This
on,
is one of my favorite podcasts I've ever done. It's just always so much fun. It just sometimes it feels forced, but with you, it's just girl, we're sisters. What's up?
because girl, we not trying to. Listen. I'm not trying to be Barbara Wart. What's her? Barbara
Barbara
Walt.
Walters. Barbara Walters.
I'm
Barbara
not
Wawa.
Barbara Wawa. I'm trying to be like. I mean, Wendy Williams was my real inspiration because it's
Mm,
just like it's more fun, but without the
yeah,
gossip.
yeah.
I'm like,
You're
yeah,
nicer
I'm
than
on my
she is.
business.
Yeah,
But I ask funny questions. But all
exactly.
right, thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
for having
on.
me, and so excited. And remember, everybody go watch TRANSFOLK. It's season
Mhm.
1, episode 3 right now as we're doing this. So,
Yes.
go
And
watch,
it's
go
in
watch,
the
like and
and,
subscribe.
yes. And also it's in the link down below
Yes,
as well over there. Chaselyn Wade Vance, darling.
I
Social media
love
is on
you.
there too. So, blow up her following, right? As well, blow up my following if you already ain't following me. If you're didn't follow me, you're like a new listener. You're like, oh my gosh, I love this bitch. Love me some more by subscribing to the Zaya Show on Apple or Spotify. They got rid of Google Podcasts last time I checked. Anywhere where you listen to your podcast, definitely subscribe for more episodes. Thank you so much for listening, y'all. And
Thank
thank you,
you.
Chaselyn, girly.
Bye. Mwah.
Bye.